In the bustling heart of Detroit, Royce da 59 sat in his studio, the low hum of the city blending with the sounds of his latest track. As he scrolled through social media, he stumbled upon the news of Charleston White's recent arrest. Royce had always been one to stay informed, especially when it came to figures in the hip-hop community and their controversies. With a furrowed brow, Royce clicked on the video where Charleston, known for his provocative statements, had seemingly let slip some information that could be used against him. Royce shook his head, a mix of disbelief and frustration washing over him. "Man, how do you get caught up like this?" he muttered to himself. After a moment of contemplation, he decided to share his thoughts with his fans. He went live on Instagram, his face a canvas of concern and reflection. "Look, I'm not here to throw shade," he began, his voice steady. "But I believe Charleston really told on himself about Kat. If you're out here running your mouth, you better be prepared for the consequences." As Royce continued, he addressed the broader implications of Charleston's situation. "We've seen this happen too many times. The internet can be a trap if you're not careful. It's all fun and games until it's not. I've been in the game long enough to know that words carry weight." The comments flooded in, fans and fellow artists chiming in with their opinions. Some agreed, while others defended Charleston's right to speak his mind. Royce read a few aloud, engaging with his audience. "I get it. He's trying to provoke thought, but there's a line. This isn't just about entertainment, it's about real life." After the live session, Royce felt a sense of responsibility. He knew he had a platform and a voice that resonated with many. He began writing a new song, one that would address the pitfalls of fame, the danger of reckless words, and the importance of accountability. Days later, he dropped the track, and it resonated deeply within the community. Fans appreciated his candidness and the way he addressed the complexities of navigating the industry. Royce hoped that, in sharing his perspective, he could encourage others to think before they spoke and understand the gravity of their words. In the end, Royce's reaction to Charleston White's arrest became a catalyst for a larger conversation about authenticity, consequences, and the art of storytelling in hip-hop, a reminder that, in a world full of noise, wisdom often lies in silence. As Royce's new track gained traction, it sparked conversations across social media platforms. Fans dissected his lyrics, analyzing every line, while others debated the implications of Charleston White's actions. Royce found himself in the middle of a whirlwind, receiving messages from friends and fellow artists who wanted to share their thoughts on the matter. One afternoon, Royce met up with his longtime friend and collaborator, J. Cole, at a local cafe. They settled into a booth, the aroma of coffee filling the air. Cole looked thoughtful as he sipped his drink. "I heard your track," he said. "You really nailed it. It's a reminder of the responsibility we have as artists." "Thanks, man," Royce replied, leaning back in his seat. "I just felt like we need to start holding each other accountable. Charleston's situation isn't just about him, it's a reflection of the culture we're part of." Cole nodded, his eyes scanning the room. "You know, I've been thinking a lot about how we present ourselves. Sometimes it feels like the more outrageous we are, the more attention we get. But what does that say about us?" Royce leaned forward, his fingers tapping the table. "Exactly. I get that some people thrive on controversy, but there's a fine line. I want my music to uplift, to inspire, not just shock." Their conversation shifted, diving deeper into the dynamics of their careers, the pressures of fame, and the impact of their words. They reminisced about their early days, sharing struggles and victories, remembering how they had navigated the landscape of hip-hop together. A few days later, Royce decided to organize a community event, inviting artists, activists, and fans to discuss the importance of accountability in the industry. He wanted to create a space where people could share their experiences and learn from one another. The event, titled Words Matter, drew a diverse crowd, from budding rappers to seasoned veterans. As Royce took the stage, the energy in the room was electric. He shared his thoughts on Charleston White's situation, emphasizing the need for introspection and responsibility. "We have a duty not just to ourselves, but to our communities," he said passionately. "Let's use our voices for change, not just for clout." After his speech, the floor opened up for discussion. Artists shared their own stories of accountability and the pressures they faced to conform to a certain image. A young rapper named Malik spoke up, his voice shaky but determined. "I feel like I have to act tough all the time, but it's exhausting. I want to be real, but I'm scared of how people will react." Royce listened intently, nodding and understanding. "That's real, man. It's okay to show vulnerability. That's where the strength lies. You don't have to fit a mold to be respected." The event sparked new connections, with artists exchanging numbers and ideas. As the night wore on, Royce felt a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that his words had the power to inspire change, not just within himself, but in the community around him. Weeks later, he received a message from Charleston White, who was still navigating the fallout from his arrest. "Hey Royce," the message read, "I saw what you did with Words Matter. I appreciate you speaking on it. I messed up, but I'm trying to learn." Royce felt a mix of empathy and resolve. "We all mess up," he replied. "What matters is how we choose to move forward. Let's talk when you're ready." In that moment, Royce knew that even the most controversial figures had the potential for growth. Through music and dialogue, they could forge a path toward a more authentic and responsible hip-hop culture. As he returned to the studio, he felt inspired to continue using his voice, not just to entertain, but to challenge, uplift, and unite.